Noag means well, but needs guidance. Your interactions with him and your behavior towards others in his presence will not only define which skills will be made available in his right skill tree, but will also shape his character and may influence his future decisions. This is exactly the reason why I said impactful dialogue choices make one of these guys into a skull crusher. Obviously the hitting camp I don't think is yet ready. Now it is ready, and now there he is. There we go. And now he's a skull crusher. Boom. Hello and welcome back to SpellForce 3 Fallen God. If you'd like to check out the game, there is a link in the description, and this video is kindly sponsored by THQ Nordic. This game comes out on November 3rd, so it's getting a bit closer. Oh yes, it is getting a bit closer. And we are now here to speak to Scrapper Slig for our side quest before we go over to the main one all the way over here. I've already done a little bit of connecting with these little teleportation godstones, as you can see, thanks to this wonderful nice little dotted line there, and it's going to take us all the way there once we're done with this side quest. So let's speak to Scrapper Slig and see what's going on.
It was good of chosen Chieftain Akrog to come. Is he ready to shield Slig?
He's ready.
Oh, wonderful. Let them see how much lovely scrap is waiting for them in there.
Let Grungwa.
Mogwar's tusks! Look at this place! Slig's not sure where to start.
Slig should keep his voice down. He was right not to come here alone. Akrog is sure there are enemies around every corner.
Slig cannot promise to be calm, chosen chieftain, but he will try.
Akrog likes not this place. He wonders what happened to the Brittlebones who lived here.
Slig cannot spend all day worrying about things like that. He has got scrap to find.
Alright, so scavenging scrap piles. Scrappers are able to collect scrap from scrap piles. It will automatically be transferred to the nearest available scrap hoard and converted to scrap metal. Collecting scrap piles might make scrappers vulnerable to attacks, but produces scrap faster. Good to know. So we also have a godstone here too, so if we do need to teleport away, then we can very easily do that. So let's be a little bit cautious here as well, because as you can see, there's a lot of potential for ambushes, and we certainly do not want to be ambushed by any old thing. There we go. Okay, so we need to obviously command Slig, so I'm actually just going to put him on number 4 for the moment, and then we're going to get him to come over here and get the scrap.
For a moment, you will lead the way. Keep those Araks away from Slig.
Worry not. Akrog will crush them. Just get that scrap.
He will.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
From all the thinking Slig has been doing lately.
What thinks he about?
Slig will tell him if he promises to keep crushing those Araks. Well, Slig likes to think about the trolls he knows. And the ones he has known.
Has Slig lost someone close to him too?
It is true. And not as recently as the chosen chieftain, of course. Slig likes to remember his old friend Zanik.
Zanik? Akrog knows not that name.
They had been friends since they were cubs. Slig will never forget the day when Zanik asked him to be his trusted one.
What happened to him?
The blood rot took him. He got hurt out in the swamps, and it seemed like he was getting better. But then, the rot took over and he was gone. Slig was with him when he died. He hoped Zanik knew he was there.
Together, to the very end. That is the promise trusted ones make. Akrog is sorry Slig lost him. And in such a way.
Chosen Chieftain speaks true. Anyway, there is no time for moping. There is scrap to be found.
Ooh, a little bit of backstory with Mr. Slig right there. And we're also going to be gaining some additional equipment. This is actually hilarious though. Brittlebones shaped this. Any scrapper could make something better. The Moonkin cannot use it, but their scrappers can shape it into something new. Nice to know. So yeah, obviously these cannot be used by trolls. You found some items. There are many different kinds. However, some are equipment for your heroes, some are books and letters, while others have special purposes, and you can check them out in your inventory. Obviously, I don't need to worry about that right now. Any loot, by the way, that dropped from these enemies? Doesn't seem like it. I think we did get some experience, though. A little bit of experience here and there is never going to be too harmful, thank you very much. So let's make our way up here and see what's going on with the next scrap pile. No doubt we're going to be attacked once again. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to place people all the way around, as you can see right there, in a nice little triangle formation, and then we'll see if we can maybe get Slig to do his thing.
Slig thinks this might be the last of it. Oh, one Arax again.
Akrog will take care of them. Is he nearly done?
Slig is a fast worker, Chosen Chieftain. They can head back in a flash. Unless he is not in a hurry to return.
Well, there is just so much to take care of. He would like to help Slig for longer,
But duty calls. Slig understands. It cannot be like the old times anymore. Not once he is Chieftain. The Chieftain can still have fun, though. He should not forget.
he will try not to. At least Little Blood is good at reminding Akrog to be less serious.
That is good. Noag Moonblood makes them all smile. He is such a sweet troll behind that thick hide and those strong arms. The tribe is lucky to have a troll like him who can bring joy and hope.
Ah, so Slig is actually talking about Little Blood Noag. Right, and that is obviously the guy that we need to find very, very shortly with the main quest. So that's going to be interesting to see who he actually is. Obviously, we saw him in the previous episode on the character creation screen, and you can actually decide what his starting stats are going to be. But obviously, as you go forward, your dialogue choices are going to have the most impact on what he ends up becoming, whether he becomes any kind of class specifically, I suppose. Obviously, I'm not fully aware of what's going to happen just yet. So we'll see what happens together. Otherwise, we're going to move everyone. And I just need to speak to him.
Now Slig really cannot carry anymore. He will run back to Zaramak, so they can use this scrap straight away.
That was actually quite fast work. Akrog is glad he found what he needed.
It would have been a lot slower if Slig needed to fight those Arax first. Slig thanks the Chosen Chieftain for keeping him safe.
It was no trouble. Well, only a little trouble.
A little trouble. Sounds like Slig. Come back and find Slig when Chosen Chieftain gets back to the tribe. He has an offer for him.
He will.
All right. Oh, look at that. Okay, so, yeah, he has an offer. I'm actually not sure what that's going to be, of course, but I'm intrigued. Extremely intrigued. Okay, so let me see if I need to go over to any other place here. It doesn't seem like it. I'm looking for chests. I'm looking for anything that we might be able to pillage a little bit of, but it doesn't seem like there is anything else in this area, with the exception of the Godstone, of course. So we can now utilize that in a really nice fashion. As you can see, there's already a bunch of different teleportation zones, or shall we say pathways, that we've created in the past, but obviously I don't really need to worry about those right now, so we can just go boom and we'll all go all over here, which is great. It is always a fantastic thing when a game adds such an amazing, very simple mechanic that really helps you out a great deal. They don't want to waste your time going from A to B, because what's fun about that? What's fun about going from A to B in a really long journey and having nothing to do along the way? That's the reason why they've added all these really cool little teleportation points.
Akrog is glad to see Slig made it back safely with such a burden. Was Master Scrapper Zaramak pleased with him?
Very much. He and Slig are grateful to the Chosen Chieftain.
They are welcome. Maybe it helped Akrog a little to help Slig.
Look, once the burial is done and he is used to being Chieftain, he should let Slig cook a meal for him. Slig owes him something tasty for giving up his time on such a day. He can bring Noag Moonblood too. They will toast to a brighter future.
Akrog would like that. Remind him again after the devouring.
It is a deal. Sharp tusks and thick hide, Chosen Chieftain.
Sharp tusks and thick hide, Slig.
Can a troll not rest for a moment?
I was actually wondering whether he'd give me anything else. Ah, we have something here. Look at this. Aha, perfect. Okay, so he's given us some blades, plates, and shaping essence. Oh, we can actually select one. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to select the shaping essence because that is the rarest. I actually don't know whether it does much. That's the thing. So let's actually have a look. Any items that are useless to you or your tribe can be dismantled by Zaramak. Dismantling items will give you a certain amount of the following resources: blades, plates, shaping essence, hex essence, and of course strong magic essence. These resources can then be used to craft items more fit for trolls. Depending on the type of the item, different resources are required. Okay, so that means that, for example, this shaping essence is used to craft magical items. So, for example, let me see if I can dismantle some stuff. So, as you can see, I can dismantle a lot of additional things. I can dismantle venom sacs as well, and that's going to provide me with more shaping essence too. So if I want to, then I could indeed do that. There's actually a huge amount of stuff that I can indeed gain by dismantling all of this. I think I will just dismantle all of that. Boom. There you go, look at that. We gained a huge amount of stuff. So now basically what I can do is I can pretty much just make something new if I want to. So at the moment, that is a crude hex stick. That doesn't actually help me at all. But let's have a look at what Grungwa is using, because as you can see, he's using basically the same exact thing. Okay, well that's good to know at the very least, because at least we are at the, shall we say, height of our power at the moment. We just need to unlock a little bit more in the way of items. So that's good to know. Now, in the next video, at least I think I'm probably going to be making another one. I am enjoying this game a great deal, and I absolutely adore pretty much everything about it so far. I am loving the dialogue. I like the dialogue choices. I like the way that the trolls are all fleshed out in the types of personalities that they have, because obviously, if you think about it, trolls, they might not have a huge amount of variety in their attitudes, but they actually do. It's crazy.
Because all he can do is crush things. Oh, chosen chieftain.
Ibrak, Kutuk, the blood for the tribe for the blood.
Elder Greyfur, chosen chieftain Akrog, the blood for the tribe for the blood. Hunter Zazka.
I Kutuk. I Ibrak. How wonderful to see them.
What are they doing out here? Scouting?
I, Master Anug, tell them about strange sparkles in the jungle, so they go see.
Is nothing here, though.
Akrog heard them speak about him. Ibrak thinks Nurbok should have been chosen chieftain, and not Akrog.
He must hear wrong.
Well, that is enough to convince Zazka.
Shut up, small tusk, or Ibrak will make ugly face even uglier.
Kin harms kin not. Now speak true, or stay silent.
What he want Ibrak to say if they heard all?
Nothing. But Akrog will say this. Ibrak needs not to respect Akrog, but he will obey him.
He will. Forgive Ibrak.
As Akrog said, Ibrak can think and say what he wants. As long as he obeys, there is nothing to forgive. Now, another question. Have they seen Little Blood? Noak. He is not in the tribe camp.
He not? They see someone go through bushes up north, but they think it one of Zaramak's scrappers. Now that Akrog say it, he probably too tall for scrapper.
Tall sounds about right. Let them hope he did nothing foolish. Strange sparkles. What meant, Anuk?
Ibrak and Kutuk asked themselves the same thing. He say the air wavy, like over a fire.
Grungwar, any idea what that could be?
Maybe X-Power. Hard to say. Green spot mushrooms, maybe. They make the nearby air wavy.
Could be. It is true.
Speaking of Master Anuk, where is he? He was not in the camp.
East of the cradle with few others. They say Crumb's beaks find nest of araks out there. Good for eating.
What sorts?
Kutuk no sure.
Let them pray to Magua. They are blood fiends, then. Their flesh is the most nourishing.
All right, they will leave now. There are many things to do. Sharp tusks and thick hide, eyes.
Sharp tusks and thick hide.
Alright, right. So they had a little bit of gossiping to do right there, and they're not particularly pleased with Mr. Akrog being the chieftain at this point, which is actually a bit disappointing, I gotta say. I feel like we're doing a pretty decent job so far, but anyway, we're fighting a new enemy right here. Apparently, they're very, they're very effective at knocking Akrog down, which is definitely causing some issues here. This is indeed a dire wolf, and you can see that it is giving us some problems. Unfortunately, obviously, because we outnumber the dire wolf, it is going to be a pretty significant victory on our part, but if it was a 1 versus 1, I think the direwolf would probably have the advantage due to the knockdown mechanic that it is currently using. But otherwise, let's have a look and see what it dropped. Dropped a wolfhide, very nice indeed. So we do have the ability to, of course, sell these things as well. So if we want to, we could potentially sell them at a settlement that maybe utilizes normal currency, because obviously, as we know from the previous episode, trolls do not really care about gold things, quote unquote, and they much more care about whether something is usable. Like, for example, this. This is completely not usable. However, the value of it is insane. 1,051. So if we do get to a settlement of some kind that allows us to barter in a more normal fashion, then we might be able to sell that to humans or elves or something. And anyway, as I was saying before all the gossiping started, I will probably be making another video on this. And I would very much like to try out the skirmish mode, because the game actually does come with a free multiplayer version that allows you to play as a randomly selected faction out of humans, orcs, and elves. And it also launches on November 3rd. It is completely free to play. And yeah, it might very well convince you that the game is actually really good. Anyway, let's see if we can... Oh yes, more resources. Give me that. Thank you. Did I loot it all? Yes, I think I looted it all. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so we are now going to be heading up here, because this is obviously where the main quest is. No doubt we're going to be coming across a number of other enemies in this area. I would assume so at the very least.
We'll go there. This way?
And there's the... I think that's the cave we went into, wasn't it? Yes, that was the cave we went into, encountering the ghost.
Noak, quick. Only fools challenge the Moonkin. Go squish! What is this? They see Noak strong. He make Eric go squish. He do same for Brittlebone, who kill Sire. All them. As long as he leaves a handful for Zaska. Zaska get 5. Noak 5T. 50. Why is Noak out here alone? It is dangerous. Maybe for old Grumpf. No for Noak. He's strong. He is, but he's also the Moonblood, and the tribe needs him. Hunter Eric was killed by a wild wyvern just a few sundowns ago. What? Noak not Eric. And tribe like Noak cause he's strong. How he can stay strong if he always hiding in his shelter?
Noak means well, but needs guidance. Your interactions with him and your behavior towards others in his presence will not only define which skills will be made available in his right skill tree, but will also shape his character and may influence his future decisions. This is exactly the reason why I said impactful dialogue choices. Very impactful. And if this determines the ending, because as far as I'm aware, there are multiple endings as well. So I'm kind of worried now. I'm kind of worried. Alright, Noak must be strong with the tribe, but not on his own. Now I'm not sure, you see? Now these are some very difficult decisions to make. It is true, Noag must be strong on his own too. It is true that he must be strong on his own as well. Because otherwise, if he's not strong by himself and he's in a situation where he actually has to rely on himself for once, rather than having members of the tribe around, then he's going to find himself in a sticky situation. But he also has to be... I don't know, he also has to work as a team, so this is very difficult. I will say 2, I think.
He is right, Grungwar. Noag must be strong on his own, too. There is nothing the Moonkin respect more than a warrior who can crush 5 Brittlebones alone. Just look at Nurbok.
Big blood, true! And not just 5. Noag crushed them all! Every last one! And then he builds shelter from their bones and feed their flesh to the Moonkin cubs!
Mugwa septic utters, Noag. Take a deep breath. The hunters are not here.
But will be! And if Noag been stronger last time, Sire would still be here, and
Oh, little blood. Calm. Be calm. It is not his fault Sire is dead.
is. Everyone say Noag Moonblood. Noag blessed because he's so strong, but he not. When hunters came, he can do nothing. Nothing.
And neither could Akrog, or anyone. Noag is a Moonblood, it is true. But Sire was a First Blood, 10 times stronger than even Nurbok. It is good to grieve kin, and it can be good to be angry. But Little Blood must not let this anger turn into despair. Else he will, one day, do something bad.
Sire always say the same thing. Big Blood right. Noag sorry. He be calm now.
It's all right, Noag. They all understand. So we just went out here to show the tribe he is strong and to unleash his anger?
No, not only. He needs something from the Eric. It's... how say... guts?
Should Sazka dare to ask why?
It's surprise for Crumple Noag make with Zeramak. Noag can take guts, Big Blood?
Sure, but he will accompany them afterwards. It is better this way.
What now? More trouble?
Okay, so we can now loot, and as you can see, we do have a skill tree here for Noag. So obviously, when we first began, we gave him a bunch of skills. We gave him some constitution, some dexterity, and some strength. Well, technically, they are attribute points, of course. And so I think what I'm going to do is I will continue to go with strength. He seems to be a very strong guy, and he does a lot of damage, and we'd like to continue having him do a lot of damage. So otherwise, what does he have here? So he has ability points, and you can also see here the varieties of different things that he could potentially take as a result of our dialogue choices. So for example, this is a perk. It is not always good to crush things. Big Blood teach Noag to be kind, so Noag rather stop enemy hurting him. And otherwise he is also a lone tusk, which also reduces his ability cooldowns. This one gives him a plus 2% chance to block, which is pretty good. Otherwise, we can indeed take some of these things. When Noag fights, he gets angry. When Noag gets hurt, he also gets angry. When attacking an enemy, cast on self, restore 1 focus. When taking damage, cast on self. Oh, okay. Noag does not regenerate focus passively, and his rage abates when not fighting. Okay, so that's actually very interesting. I'm going to be taking more life. And I'm going to be taking this one as well. This is a Roar, which is a willpower scaling attribute. Not a big fan of that, I gotta say, but it does taunt enemy creatures around him, which is actually quite powerful if you think about it. If there is a particularly bad enemy or a lot of enemies, then you can potentially taunt and then take it off someone that is about to die. So this is generally quite a good utility effect. So it might be good for me to take that, but I kind of want to take Enemy Bash instead. And he still has 2 ability points remaining. I have nothing else to really spend it on, unfortunately. So I'm just going to apply those 2. And then we'll just continue onward. And we can now loot this.
Rat them! They go back to Zeramak now?
Soon.
What next?
Alright, so I just wanted to keybind him, so Noag is now on number 4, and everyone is on number 5, so that is cool. Alright, is there anything else that I actually want to do here, by the way? I didn't want to miss out on any chests or anything like that, because personally I feel like chests are some of the most fun that you can have. Anyway, let's see if we can maybe do something here. Okay, so where do I need to go? I need to go around about here, I guess. So we'll just take all of them back in here. And then we can make our way back to the camp. Super easy to travel in this game. I love it.
He is back. It is true. Grapple! Let Moonblood. Mugwa prays he's safe. Zeramak no see him since sunup. Where he go? Well, of course, Noag's safe. He Moonblood. He'd go out in wild and fight Urgath and get stronger. Ah, that good. The Moonblood needs be strong.
Kid Blood? You wanted to give Zeramak something?
True. Here, Noag found. Ugh, it's so sticky. Smells as nice as it looks. True, could work. Can Chieftain give Zeramak moment? Look, pretty, like Zeramak.
What is this? A hammer?
A songbone, like greenskin slave drums. But this one makes long sounds like an iron beak's call.
They mean music?
It is true. This is for Crumb, then, Noag. What is the occasion?
They see.
All right.
Go on here.
Right, so they see, apparently. Okay, so we're going to be giving it to that guy that tends to heal the other trolls by the looks of things. Okay, so that's good to know. And as you can see, this is pretty crazy. It has a 100% critical chance. I don't even know how that's even possible, but that is going to be pretty crazy. So let's see if we can give it to him.
Let us rock see. Where was Noag? Crumb got worried. Make something for Crumple.
Just show him, Noag. He will like it.
Here, gift. A song wood. No, a song bone. But how did Noag make this? And why is he giving it to Crumb? Zeramak helped Noag make it. And he, well, Crumple always helped Noag, just like Big Blood, Zaska, and Sire. Noag want to ask.
Oh, spit it out already. He wants to make Crumb his trusted one, no?
It true. That is very kind of Noag. Crumb will gladly be Noag's trusted one.
Well, it is settled then. Shepherd Crumb kind soul and Moonblood Noag just struck the bond of trust.
Noag, thanks. He will be good trusted one to Crumple.
Calm, little blood. You can speak with Crumple again later. There is much to do.
His same blood is right. But Crumb thanks Noag again. He will start making sounds as soon as he can. If these old fingers allow it, that is.
What is needed of him?
Ooh, and we have a pending reward. Ah, fantastic. Okay, so now I can basically select whatever we want. And what is this? Okay, so this is significantly better than what I'm currently using for Mr. Akrog. So I'm thinking we probably want to go for this. I could technically take other things as well if I wanted to. So for example, if I wanted to use a wand, for example this, you know, if I wanted to give this to Grungwa, then I could do that. And throwing axes, generally this is actually much better than what Zaska is using. So this would actually be fantastic to take. Should I just take this? I'm a bit worried about it, to be honest, because it's in red. So I'm not sure whether it's actually going to be available to him, but I think that personally this is going to be much more useful for Zaska than his current weapon is. So let me see if I can put that on him. He can. There you go. So he can actually use that. This does... Look at how much damage this does. This is insane, the upgrade. Look at this. His old weapon does 67 to 72, right? And his new weapon does 165. Oh, yes. And it scales with strength, which is obviously much better than scaling with dexterity, at least for him at the moment, because, of course, he has 5 strength and only 2 dexterity. So I think that was actually a pretty decent thing to go for. So... let's now we have to go over there by the looks of things. Okay, so we need to go and speak to Cabrax about completing the devouring. And so I'm going to activate this teleportation here, and then we're just going to take everyone in. There we go. Fantastic.
Ha! Look at this! The fabled moon blood. Noag, is it not? It's true. Well, well. Noag truly has his sire's blood. A prime specimen. And Grimoire says he has no signs of the rot at all? No weak bones? No stunted tusks? Nothing?
None. He's not even old enough to hunt yet, but already stronger than some warriors by his 5th year. Grimoire believes he will grow even bigger. Chieftain Narjak aside, Magua praise him, Noag is the strongest Moonkin that there ever was.
Well, then Cabrax hopes Noag will sire many cubs. Perhaps one with a Bone King, though.
Noag is standing right here, they know.
It is just mating. So, have the Moonkin shaped the tooth yet?
Akrog has it.
Let Cabrax see.
Here. Will this do?
It should. Follow them inside.
At his service. In that direction. The air here makes Grimoire's hide prickle.
Well then, time for the preparations.
The summoning of Magwa's cub.
No need to look like a beak shat on his head, Akrog. Summoning Magwa's cub is a great honor. He should be smiling.
A Moonkin and a Bonekin have to die for the ritual. Akrog sees nothing to smile about, and he understands not why Cabrax would.
Cabrax told him why. It is an honorable way to die. Being worked to death as a slave of the Greenskins? Disgrace. Starving? Disgrace. Untusked by a brittle bone? Disgrace. But giving one's blood so that Magwa's cub can take the fabled Chieftain Narjak Firstborn into the Moonlit River. That is an honorable way to die. A way worthy of Magwa's spawn.
Cabrax speaks true. Arnuk's trusted one will have dark thoughts for a long time. But maybe he will find solace in the thought that Arnuk will be floating in the moonlit river right beside Narjak. It is a great honor.
Arnuk die? Why?
So Noag's sire can go in peace, and trusted one Akrog can be the new chieftain. Zaska will explain to Noag, but not now.
The Bloodgivers are already here, are they not? What else is needed?
Prepare the rest of the offering, of course. Wood, food, and crushed stone. Tradition demands for the Devoured One's tribe to gather them. But if Akrog wants, the Bone King can do it instead. He knows the Moonkin are weary.
They are weary, it is true, but the Moonkin will respect the traditions. They will harvest the offering themselves.
Words of a future chieftain. Return when the Moonkin workers have built the gathering dens, then. What can he do for the tribe?
Alright, so this is the base management portion of the game. Obviously, I haven't really done too much of this in the campaign yet. I have done most of this in the skirmish mode. I very much enjoy skirmish in these kinds of games, so generally I will be playing that much more often than the campaign, but I am extremely intrigued to see where this actually goes and how Noag will develop as all of the dialogue choices come up. Anyway, your capital is the heart of your base. If your enemy succeeds in destroying it, you lose the game. Your capital and sector outposts also display the number of workers available for assignment. Dwarves, dark elves, and elves increase their population limit in their capital. Orcs in hunting cabins and farms, and humans and trolls construct housing. Press the comma button to toggle the economy view, which grants you an overview of a sector's resources and the current worker assignment of each building. Most buildings require workers to function. Upon successfully constructing a building, free workers are assigned automatically to it if available. The amount of workers currently assigned to a building is displayed below its name banner. Dismiss a worker by clicking on an occupied worker slot and assign one by clicking one that's empty. Keep in mind that workers can be killed. Fallen workers respawn one by one at regular intervals if the sector outpost is still intact. Alright, so basically you get a wide variety of different options in regards to the structures that you can build. Obviously, in the campaign right now, we're undergoing the basic tutorial, but in the skirmish mode, you have absolutely everything at your disposal, and you can construct whatever you want, as long as you have the resources, of course. So now what we can do right here is we can assign workers to this. So you can see here, there's a free worker right there, and we can assign a worker right now. And there we have it, done. Press N or use the build button at the bottom right of the screen to open the construction menu, then click on a building's icon to place it anywhere. Buildings can be rotated by pressing this and then pressing that to confirm. Of course, there we go, yes, I know how to do that, thank you very much. Alright, so now we need to build a hunting hut and a stone breaker. So now, here's the thing. They're not just going to randomly pick up resources from wherever. They actually have to walk to a certain area in your sector to be able to gather them. So it is usually a good idea to place things nearby to those resources. So for example, if I'm going to build a stone breaker, I would like to place it next to a stone resource, right? Usually that's going to be the way that you'll do things. So for example, as you can see right here, there's a little icon. Can you see that icon there? It moves dependent on how, you know, which direction the stone is actually in. So it really gives you a really nice overview of where things are and everything, and it really makes a huge difference to your awareness of stuff. So it's really nice. Anyway, we're just going to place that right there. Just going to place that right there. And we also have the hunting hut as well. So hunting is generally not going to have that same icon because there are huge amounts of different food supplies in the area in the form of boars and a variety of other animals that the hunting people will go after. So we're just going to build it round about there. Doesn't really matter where it is. And you can see that we have one of our little workers running off there. And now we can actually speak to Cowbrax, and we can indeed move on. So let's do that.
All right. The workers are preparing the offering. What is next?
Scrap. Just have the Moonkin scrappers search the cradle. There should still be some mounds nearby. Then comes the blood-giving.
How works the blood-giving exactly? 2 blood givers must offer their lives to Mugwa. Zazka knows that. But how?
It is complicated. Of the 2 blood givers, one is the sacrifice, and the other the vessel. The vessel devours the sacrifice, then spills his own blood at the foot of the holy stone. Elder Grimoire Greyfur is as wise as they say.
What mean devour? Eat. So he means the vessel must eat the sacrifice's flesh?
Like chosen Chieftain Akrog will eat his sire's flesh at the ceremony. It is true. Cabrax told both Bloodgiver Urnuk, the sacrifice, and Bloodgiver Itzka, the vessel, what they should do. Akrog should speak to them once he is ready to make the offering.
He will. Sharp tusks and thick hide.
Alright, so now all we need to do is scavenge scrap piles. So this is relatively similar to how it was beforehand when we went to go and help Slig. However, it is literally just building something. So you can see here there is a scrap hoard. It provides scrappers who can collect scrap metal. So I'm actually not sure if we do have any scrap. Ah, there we go. There's actually some scrap metal right there as far as I'm aware. And is there any other source nearby? I'm not seeing it out there. There's another one. So generally they're probably going to run between the two, but I'm just going to place it round about here. It doesn't really matter where you place it, as long as you have the resources to build it as well. By the way, it will be built actually quite fast. And by the way, you can't really tell your workers where to go. It is very much a indirect way of commanding your units, which I very much appreciate. I actually like that quite a bit. It reminds me of a number of other games that I have thoroughly enjoyed in the past. You can, of course, command your own units, and indeed, in the skirmish mode, you will be able to create regular troops rather than having heroes. You do have heroes as well, by the way, that you will be able to command in the skirmish mode too. So that's not, that's not a problem there whatsoever. But yes, it's just a whole different kettle of fish, pretty much. But otherwise, let's go and speak to some of these guys.
Close enough.
What is it?
Bloodgiver Itzka will give his life tonight. He wishes not to die with the rot in his bones.
The rot can only be passed on through blood, not from troll to troll.
That is what every fool believes. Itzka wants his flesh to be pure when he offers it to Mukwa. No. Why is the chosen chieftain speaking to Itzka? He wants to be alone with his thoughts.
Akrog came to offer his thanks and tell Itzka that the ritual is ready.
Thanks? Itzka does this for Mugwa, not for the Moonkin. But he thanks Akrog for his words. Is the Blood Guard waiting?
Blood Guard?
Cabrax has not told him yet. The tradition demands that the Moonkin bring 3 strong warriors to protect the pyre.
Akrog understands. He will take care of it.
He should. Itzka will meet him at the Holy Stone.
Alright, so this is obviously giving us a little basic unit tutorial as well. So trolls have 2 basic units, the Smasher and the Iron Beak. The Iron Beak is actually a flying unit, which I haven't used in skirmish mode. Not that much at the very least. I've mostly used Smashers because they are a lot of fun to watch. Anyway, these can be reduced at the Fight Hut. While both of these are capable of combat, they are still inexperienced and develop their full potential after being upgraded at a camp. Now, if you take a look at the construction menu here, you can see that there's a fight hut, right? So this basically gives warriors, iron beaks, and all that stuff. Then you can get a hex camp, you can get a shrine to Mugwa, you can get a moon temple for blessings and so on, and you can also get throwing camp too. There's also a number of other things as well, which I think I don't have right here. I think there is another thing that actually improves the quality of your units as well. Anyway, I do need to train some of these guys right here. So as you can see, we do have some workers here. I think I did train the scrap. Haven't I not trained the scrappers? Yeah, there we go. There's a scrapper right there. Okay, so we're going to train one of those guys, and he's going to go over there and get some scrap. Hopefully that's going to work out for us. And we also need to build a fight hut. So let's build a fight hut. That's usually where your fighters are going to come from, of course, and we also want to build a hitting camp. Yes, it is very straightforward with the trolls. It is indeed. And as I've said before, there are 6 playable factions in the multiplayer as well. So you're going to be able to play as humans, elves, dwarves, orcs, dark elves, and indeed trolls if you want to, continue playing with Mr. Akrog and so on. Well, technically his kin, I suppose. But otherwise, let us go over here and we can indeed speak to the next guy. There we go. That has now been done, and that means that I will be able to recruit a Smasher. And where is that? There it is. So there is the Smasher. It's a basic troll fighter, and it will require food to be able to build these Smashers, or indeed recruit them. So let me see if I can build these. You can set waypoints and rally points as well, by the way, so you can literally just... I'm going to recruit, let's see now. I'm going to recruit 2 of these guys, because I think that 1 is probably maybe not enough. We'll see. And send scrappers to the scrap pile. Okay, so where's my scrapper? Is that the guy? Yeah, there we go. So he's going to go over there and do that. Yeah, there we go. So he's going to go over there and do that. Hopefully he won't be attacked. Find and salvage more scrap piles. Well, there's one over there, but obviously we might not even need to do that at the moment. Okay, so recruit a Smasher at the fight hut. That's being done. There we go. And to improve their combat abilities, both Trolls and Ironbeaks can be sent into camps. The first step is sending a Smasher or a regular Ironbeak into one of the 3 camps. The hitting camp will produce melee units such as the Skull Crusher, and the Ironbeak Fighter. The throwing camp produces throwing units, and the Hex camp produces magical units such as the Flesh Eater, and so on. So, because we've already built a hitting camp, we can indeed send one of these guys into here, and as a result, it is then going to create the ability to make one of these guys into a Skull Crusher. Obviously, the hitting camp I don't think is yet ready. Now it is ready, and now there he is. There we go. And now he's a Skull Crusher. Boom. So technically we need 2 more Skull Crushers. So I will indeed be making 2 more Smashers. Actually, we only need 1 more because we've already done that. So let's get another one to go in there. We need scrap metal as well, by the way, to unlock these. Because that's the thing. The hitting camp for Skull Crushers to be upgraded requires 2 wood and 10 scrap metal. So there's a huge amount that you have to remember about these things. But it is simple enough to upgrade them. These guys are going to hit for absolutely truckloads. It's going to be so nice to watch. Okay, so otherwise we can now go over here and speak to these guys. I would like to be able to upgrade these guys before we do anything else with the story right now, at least.
Must move on and choose a new trusted one. Who then gets killed by the rot? The hunters? Or some stupid ritual? It is all so pointless, Urgath. The Moonkin will never find peace. Never!
What is this? Chosen Chieftain Akrog Bone Crusher. Magua prays.
Magua prays, Bloodgiver Arnuk Soft Tusk. Is he ready for the sacrifice?
Bloodgiver. All his life, Urgath was a healer. And now that is all he is.
He became Bloodgiver the moment Magua decided so.
Rot Magua! Rot the Devouring! Rot the Hunters! Rot everything! Nurab cannot take this! Nurab, go! Just when Arnuk has accepted his fate, his trusted one will not. What can he do, Chosen Chieftain? He wants not to leave Nurab like this. Bitter and broken.
Ooh, now this is going to be a difficult dialogue choice. This is probably also going to affect Noag in some way. So let's take a little bit of stock here and see what we can select. The last hunter attack killed dozens. Many kin are bitter and broken. Nurab must accept it. The Moonkin cannot grow soft. Or Akrog will make sure the tribe helps with Nurab's grief. Or is there anything Akrog can do to make it easier for them both? I think we're probably going to select 3.
Akrog will make sure the tribe helps with Nurab's grief.
How about a soul charm? It is a stone with hex power from the Brittlebone ruins here. It can store the voice of a living creature. If the Moonkin found a soul charm for Arnuk, he could speak a few words for Nurab into it. This way, Nurab could treasure them forever.
Arnuk would like that. But he wants not to be a burden on the tribe. Nerbak is right. The Moonkin should not stay here any longer than necessary.
Arnuk gives his life for the Devouring.
So this is the least the Moonkin can do. The blood for the tribe for the blood.
Anuk thanks Grungwa. Where can they find the soul charm?
Cabrax told Grungwa that the kin hoard them. They should talk to their thing keeper.
All right. They will be back.
Ready for action.
Ooh, okay. Oh, that's actually very interesting. Okay, so I would love to be able to get one of those. Okay, so we have three skull crushers now, which is nice. And that's gonna help us out quite a bit to defend ourselves. And I would like to get one of those charms. I wonder how I can do that. Find a soul charm.
This looks interesting.
Magua prays. He is chosen Chieftain Akrog Bone Crusher.
Thing Keeper Neek knows him. The Troll who crushed 10 brittle bones by himself.
How knows he?
Oh, be no fool. Every Troll knows the cub of Chieftain Narjek Firstborn. And his same blood, the Moon Blood. Neek must say he expected something else. Akrog looks not yet like a chieftain to me. Let alone the one to follow Narjek Firstborn.
Akrog cares not about Neek's judgment. He is here for something else.
Just as Neek thought. Too cowardly to stand his ground. Either way, what came he here for?
Akrog wonders if the Bonekin have a soul charm. The Moonkin's blood giver. He would like one for, well, his trusted one.
Soul charm? The brittle bone boxes that can trap a voice, no?
It is true. They are small spheres, silver like the moon, and
Neek knows what they look like. And it is true. They have one here.
What wants the Bonekin in return?
Nothing. The Moonkin Bloodgiver makes a great sacrifice. If this keeps the dark thoughts away from his trusted one, Neek is glad to help.
Akrog thanks Neek. Sharp tusks and thick hide. Akrog must leave.
Alright, well that was easy enough, wasn't it? Okay, so we're now going to bring Ernuk the soul charm.
Chosen Chieftain.
Here. The Bonekin gave Akrog this soul charm.
Anuk likes it. How works it? Anuk just speak something?
and the hex inside will trap it. It is true.
Anuk sees. Anuk is with Magua now. And he will be there when Nurab joins him in the Moonlit River.
Will he bring Nurab the soul charm now?
Anuk would like Akrog to bring it to him. After the devouring, when Anuk is gone.
Why? Nurab his trusted one.
Very true, Moonblood Noag. But seeing Nurab now would only make Anuk weak again. He has said all that needed to be said. Now, it is time for him to do his duty. The tribe for the blood for the tribe. Chosen Chieftain Akrog. Anuk. Make all this death mean something. Save the Moonkin. No matter the price.
Oh, you know what? I gotta say, I feel like this is a very somber experience here. And while it is tradition, or whatever the case may be, for this clan of trolls, I still feel like it is extremely emotional. And certainly not something that should be taken lightly. So anyway, let's claim the reward. We gain a soul charm. Perhaps it will help ease his passing. Alright, there we go. So we gain that, and now we can give it to the other fellow, Nurab, who was having some problems. Anyway, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. If you would like to check out SpellForce 3 Fallen God, there is a link in the description. I would highly recommend checking it out. It is a great deal of fun. There's over 20 hours of playtime in the campaign alone, and you can also play it co-op with a friend if you want. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It is greatly appreciated, and I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.